Grits and biscuits have long defined Southern mornings, even as trends pull in new directions. In this video, we explore the grits belt, regional breakfast variations, and how the restaurant world is reviving traditional Southern breakfasts. We'll examine biscuits against modern substitutes, the national rise of shrimp and grits, and the ongoing balance between convenience and authenticity. From cultural and economic loyalty to international recognition and the future of Southern breakfast traditions, these classic breakfast foods like grits and biscuits, still loved across the South, remain vibrant today. 1. The grits belt phenomenon. You might be surprised to learn that 3/4 of the grits sold in the U.S. are bought in the South, in an area stretching from Lower Texas to Washington, D.C. That is sometimes called the grits belt. This remarkable statistic reveals just how deeply embedded grits remain in Southern food culture, despite all the modern breakfast trends swirling around us. The dedication runs so deep that the state of Georgia declared grits to be its official prepared food in 2002. Meanwhile, South Carolina still has an entire chapter of legislation dealing exclusively with cornmeal and grits. State law in South Carolina requires grits and rice meal to be enriched, similar to the requirement for flour. 2. Breakfast trends fighting against tradition. While health and wellness has taken center stage in the breakfast realm, with a marked shift toward nutrient-packed dishes designed to fuel both body and mind, restaurants are embracing whole grains, low-calorie meals, and superfoods like chia seeds, quinoa, and acai bowls. Many breakfast menus now cater to specific dietary preferences, including low-sugar, gluten-free, and anti-inflammatory options. Southern breakfast foods continue to hold their ground. The resistance to these health trends isn't happening in isolation. Millennials and Gen Z, in particular, are driving this shift, as they tend to prioritize their health and well-being over the indulgent breakfasts of yesteryears. These consumers are increasingly mindful of what they eat, choosing dishes that are as nourishing as they are delicious. Yet somehow, grits and biscuits aren't going anywhere. 3. Regional breakfast variations keep traditions alive. The beauty of Southern breakfast culture lies in its incredible regional diversity. Southern breakfast varies from region to region, with each having its own special dishes that are unique to the area. For example, North Carolina, also the #1 producer of sweet potatoes in the country, is known for its sweet potato pancakes, while South Carolina is famous for shrimp and grits. What's fascinating is how these regional differences create fierce loyalty among locals. Some folks swear by their grits prepared with just salt, pepper, and butter, while others have embraced variations with cheese or even sugar. Grits were always a staple at our breakfast table, seasoned simply with salt and pepper, and overflowing with so much butter that it formed a bright yellow pool in the center. I was surprised when I discovered that some folks in the South enjoy adding sugar or cheese to their grits. 4. The restaurant industry's Southern breakfast revival. Authentic Southern cuisine is making a comeback, with the revival of sorghum, stone-ground grits, and regional heirloom varieties. This isn't just happening in traditional Southern states either. Ambitious chefs are bringing these classics to unexpected places. Even in major metropolitan areas outside the South, restaurants are discovering there's serious demand for authentic Southern breakfast experiences. The movement goes deeper than just serving grits and biscuits. When Chef Frank Stitt opened his acclaimed Highlands Bar and Grill in Birmingham, Alabama, in 1982, ingredients as simple as stone-ground grits seemed impossible to find. Mass-produced quick grits were the industry norm. For a few years, I had to go to a health food store to buy organic stone-ground grits until I contacted a source in North Carolina and bought them directly, Stitt says. 5. Biscuits hold their ground against modern alternatives. Despite the explosion of health-focused breakfast options, biscuits maintain impressive staying power. The South loves traditional biscuits, primarily buttermilk biscuits and Southern-style biscuits. Flaky, savory biscuits accompanied by gravy and fried chicken continue to be in demand. This loyalty persists even as the overall biscuit market adapts to changing consumer preferences. The global biscuit market tells an interesting story too. Biscuits' market size was valued at $115.3 billion in 2024 and is expected to reach $172.3 billion by 2031, growing at a significant CAGR of 5.9%. However, the Southern breakfast biscuit represents something different from mass-market sweet biscuits. It's about tradition, craftsmanship, and cultural identity. 6. The battle between convenience and authenticity. One of the most interesting tensions in Southern breakfast culture involves the choice between convenience and authenticity. Hominy grits, also marketed as quick grits and instant grits, are available in U.S. supermarkets under various brand names. These grits are designed for fast cooking, typically 5 to 7 minutes or less. But true enthusiasts know the difference. However, a true lover of grits would never consider anything but long-cooking, stone-ground corn grits. Unlike hominy grits, which can have a rather bland, watery taste, corn grits, requiring 20 to 45 minutes to cook, provide the full corn flavor and creamy texture sought after by grit aficionados. This dedication to authenticity represents a form of cultural resistance against the fast food mentality. 7. Shrimp and grits goes national. Perhaps no dish better illustrates how Southern breakfast foods have evolved than shrimp and grits. Growing up, I wasn't familiar with shrimp and grits, as we lived far from the coast. My mother hails from western North Carolina, where seafood and grits were not commonly paired. As an adult, however, I often order this dish at restaurants, which is now wildly popular for breakfast, lunch or dinner all over the country. The dish has an incredible backstory that explains its current popularity. It is assumed that shrimp and grits was created as a humble fisherman dish with available ingredients that could make a filling and affordable meal, but the invention was at least partially influenced by African heritage. For most of its existence, this classic combination remained limited to the Lowcountry, but in the 1980s, it was suddenly popularized and spread throughout the South. 8. Cultural significance beyond just food. Southern breakfast foods represent something much deeper than mere sustenance. Breakfast in the South is not just a meal, but an opportunity to gather with loved ones, share good food, and engage in meaningful conversation. It is a time to enjoy the comfort and hospitality that the South is famous for and to continue the traditions and values that have shaped the region for centuries. This cultural importance helps explain why these foods persist despite changing health trends. Southern breakfasts reflect the cultural heritage of the South, incorporating ingredients and cooking techniques passed down through generations. When you're eating grits with butter or splitting open a fresh biscuit, you're participating in a tradition that connects you to generations of Southern families. 9. The economics of Southern breakfast loyalty. While the restaurant industry overall is experiencing significant growth, with the country's restaurant and food service industry projected to reach $1.1 trillion in sales this year, a 4% increase compared to 2024, Southern breakfast establishments occupy a unique position. They're not just competing on convenience or health benefits, they're selling nostalgia, authenticity, and cultural connection. This creates interesting opportunities in an increasingly competitive breakfast market. Breakfast transactions have risen notably, especially on Saturdays, which experienced a 6% year-over-year increase from 2023 to 2024. Regional growth variations. While cities like Minneapolis, New York City, and Chicago have seen impressive growth in breakfast transactions, other regions such as Atlanta and Charlotte have faced declines. The variation suggests that regional breakfast preferences still matter significantly. 10. Modern twists on classic ingredient. Smart restaurants aren't abandoning Southern breakfast traditions, they're adapting them. Creative chefs are finding ways to honor the classics while appealing to health-conscious consumers. Some are using stone-ground grits in innovative applications, while others are perfecting buttermilk biscuits made with higher quality flours and locally sourced ingredients. The key seems to be understanding that Southern breakfast foods survived this long for good reasons. Grits is a staple of Southern-style breakfasts and dinners. Made of ground corn, this porridge-like meal is both filling and easy to make. Grits pair well with shrimp or cheese, or you can enjoy them plain. Their versatility and satisfaction factor explain their enduring appeal. 11. International recognition of American regional food. It's interesting how Southern breakfast foods confuse international visitors, yet this confusion often leads to appreciation. For many international visitors, the concept of eating biscuits with gravy for breakfast is quite foreign. In many parts of the world, biscuits are sweet and eaten as snacks, while gravy is reserved for dinner. This dish exemplifies the unique and sometimes surprising nature of American breakfast cuisine. Similarly, grits are a classic American breakfast food, particularly popular in the southern United States. Made from ground corn, grits are typically boiled and served with butter, cheese, or even shrimp. This dish has a texture similar to porridge and is often enjoyed as a savory breakfast option. The fact that these foods seem strange to outsiders somehow makes them more precious to those who grew up with them. 12. The future of Southern breakfast traditions. Looking ahead, Southern breakfast foods face both challenges and opportunities. On one hand, health trends continue to push consumers toward lighter, more nutritious options. On the other hand, there's growing appreciation for authentic, regional American cuisine. The restaurants that succeed will likely be those that can honor the traditional preparation methods while perhaps offering lighter versions or premium ingredients. The continued popularity of these foods also depends on passing traditions down to younger generations. As families become more dispersed and busy schedules dominate, the Sunday morning tradition of homemade biscuits and slow-cooked grits faces pressure. However, the restaurant industry may actually help preserve these traditions by making them more accessible to people who lack the time or knowledge to prepare them at home. Looking at the data, consumer spending patterns, and cultural trends, it's clear that classic Southern breakfast foods aren't going anywhere anytime soon. They've weathered health food crazes, fast food invasions, and generational shifts in eating habits. Whether it's the simple comfort of buttery grits or the satisfying heft of a fresh-baked biscuit, these foods have earned their place in American breakfast culture through decades of loyal devotion. What's your favorite way to enjoy these Southern classics?